So today I'm going to tell you about human races. The several time God recreated the earth and which living beings that have lived, when and who they were. So God has created living beings on earth many times, and this is what scientists haven't discovered yet. We also do not stem from monkeys. The Darwin theory is completely wrong. And so, to begin with, there were dinosaurs on Earth. This was, to my knowledge, the first time God created living beings. So, amongst dinosaurs, there lived giants and also Santas in the north. There probably were a fault with that evolution because God decided to get rid of all the dinosaurs. Maybe they were too dangerous. Maybe they destroyed too many giants and living beings. And so, to my knowledge, there weren't any other animals of the animals we have today living with the dinosaurs. So, one theory is that dinosaurs killed all human beings or giants, but my theory is that there was a sin fall, like with Adam and Eve, and but Santas remained on Earth in the north. God chose to let Santas live because Santas aren't, or they weren't, or aren't that destructive towards God and other beings. They're more good-hearted. So, after this world fell, there were a whole nother creation, and we all know this. This was when Adam and Eve were created. They are the first people that we know of, or we have known about through internet, history, learning, teaching, etc. So, when Adam and Eve fell for Satan, Noah was the one that would bring all animals. He built this ark in 600 years, and with God's powers, he brought all the animals with him. So Noah became the great father of many children that were to live. And so he had this, I believe Adam and Eve had red hair. So he continued to make children. But when this happened, God had already created black people because black people were created so that red-haired people would kind of be smoothed out, because red-haired people are very self-indulgent with their red hair, so that God created black people so that these would start to form other races. So there we have this brown eyes and so on. And so God created the different races after this. But Abraham was one of the great sons of of Noah. And what Abraham got as a task was that he would circumcise all of his children, and this was so that God could know who was circumcised and who that didn't want to be circumcised, and therefore went against God. So in all creations and evolutions, we have had this question about who that is trustful and who is not, and God has the ultimate desire to make the human race free from sin, and that is why he tries again and again to create this ultimate earth. And so when Abraham brought on his family, the Jews, the circumcised, Santas were still living in the north. So Abraham's sons and daughters became spread all over the world. But so then God created all other races. Asian, Latin Americans, yeah, you know, all races, and so yeah. So God created all races, and we do not stem from monkeys, because if we were to stem from monkeys, we wouldn't have our soft skin, and we would have another texture to our body. And some have maybe had sex with animals. People do that, and but really, I do not believe that God would let them have offsprings. So that and I think this is very important, because in our Aryan culture, we believe that people with big noses, for example, are stem from apes. And this is wrong, because this is a facial feature that is significant to Santas and black people, and even Asian and Central American, not Central Americans, but South Americans. So that blonde people come from Santas. So blonde people with small noses is in fact a mixture between the early living people in Egypt or whatever, you know, and so to claim that this is a northern feature is actually wrong, because it's only the blonde hair that is a northern feature. And so Santas came from, they were spread all over the heights of the northern countries. The divide between Russia and Finland and Sweden and Norway. But there were also people that were created in the north, and this is the Samic population. Many believe that these people come from Asia or Russia and further on. But this is wrong, because there were two types of people in the northern countries. These were the blonde Santas and the Asian lookalikes, or the Samic culture, and the northern, the Icelandic, and you know, these dark-haired people. And when we mix these two, we also get brown eyes and so on. So what we are really being mind controlled in this way, that some people come from apes and some people come from Norway, and that we all come from monkeys. That is, or the Darwin evolution theory. This is completely wrong, and I believe that within this new age, more and more people will become accepting to the fact that everything we've been taught at school, etc., is wrong. And the more we realize that Christianity is not about races, but it's about equality between all races, I think Christianity will appeal to more and more people. And um, the hatred of Jews is, in fact, um, I believe, is in fact not wrong, because, or I believe that no violence should be shed, if you know what I mean. But um, God gave us Jesus for our own sake, so that equality should be. But so I think this clarifies so much, besides from Jews and the hatred for Jews. But I believe that the hatred for Jews is probably where we bring in Jesus, and where we start to divide all these human races. And so I think, yeah, and that is my mission, to tell everyone that if you believe in Christianity, you can have so much more, because if you first start to realize what that is the truth, then more and more pieces will fall into place, and you can have more and more order in your life. And science, I believe, is something to enhance our inspiration of a godly figure, because science is all about discovering God's wonders. And if you start to go in the depths about the Darwin theory, then you will meet so much, for example, on YouTube, facts that really clarify that this theory is completely wrong. And I'm no expert of the Darwin evolution theory, but um, I believe that there can be either other creatures that God have created, like mixtures of something that could have been a mixture between man and monkey. There are so many creatures that we don't know about. Of course, we know about creatures in fiction, but we also know by this state in the new age that these creatures are beginning to become a reality for people. So it's also a reality that God may have produced other species than animals and humans, because I'm a living proof that Santas have existed, and I have physical evidence of having a tail. It's not something that grows out of my body, but it's something that is missing, and you can see that it has evolved from being a tail. And so and there can be satanic creatures that have lived, experiments that have gone wrong, either from God's side or Satanists. Um, we know that like science and experiments. We know that we had um, airplanes, for example, in Egypt. So, and we know that many on this earth are dealing with aliens. So that technology and the study of DNA and genes and evolution in things and experimenting with creatures, producing creatures, or we know that technology can have been used by people that have indulged with aliens so many years further on than our technology that is known to us. So, really, Christianity is about the truth and having your eyes open. And when you first start to study, like, I didn't know that giants lived and that people could be so many years, but now I understand why vampires can be many hundred years, because they believe in Satan and Satan can do this for them. So, and God also can do the same. So, never let your creativity destroy your truth seeking, and don't fall into science and this old pattern that really have so many flaws, because I know the truth and I wouldn't have known all there is to know if I weren't being taught. And so this is all a learning process, and but I haven't found one thing that doesn't fit with my um, consciousness or my ID pattern. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And remember, all races are the same, and we should never let others dictate us, and we should never judge. So, thank you, and comment if you will. I won't respond to people that do not believe in God, because I haven't got the time to discuss it since I talked to him. So, but if there are other questions that you wonder about, just ask me one and I'll answer the best way that I can. I'm a medium, so I have sources that can answer questions that even I don't know. So, thank you, and have a nice day, and goodbye.